Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, this is Dan coming back at you with more information on technology and CPA firms and all the good stuff that happens with computers. And we have a very special guest today. His name is Ryan Williams. Hello, Ryan. How are you?
Hi, Dan. I'm doing good. How about you?
All right. I'm good, thanks. Ryan actually is a technician with us, and he fixes so many problems. It's crazy, and you do an awesome job at that, Ryan. Thank you. And you recently just found a great fix for an issue that has been happening forever, and this is with the QuickBooks admin pop-up, right? We're going to talk about a little bit about this. If you're getting this pop-up, it's really what happens here? Like this pop-up happens, Ryan, and people have to click continue. What's generally the annoyance of this?
So, what I was able to isolate was the way QuickBooks mechanism regarding handling different files. So, this pop-up occurs when the QuickBooks application does not have sufficient privileges to read, write, or access or modify the file. So, even if the user itself is an administrator on the system, this error comes up, you leaving us kind of in a vague situation to figure out what the problem source
Yeah.
is. So how we identified was that if we went into the list inside the control panel, is figuring out that, there is an issue over there with the users. So if you go into control panel and if we navigate to the list of users that are on the system, you will see that there are users accounts that go by the nomenclature like this, such as QB data service user XX, and those could be any numbers. And this is the per application install. So for example, there's a QuickBooks 23, QuickBooks 24. So there's two versions of QuickBooks out there, and there's going to be two corresponding user accounts like this, which by default
Excellent.
are not administrators. So in this case,
Okay.
the user
And
34 is a user that is not a user. So that doesn't have its sufficient
right.
privileges to manage the database system that runs behind the QuickBooks working on those files. So QuickBooks does not
Excellent.
have
Okay.
the level of trust for users. Rather, it creates its own users, which are service accounts, and that serve as an intermediary between the QuickBooks interface and the user.
Excellent. And so what we want to do is, can you just go through how you move that particular username from a user and put them in the group of administrator?
Definitely. So all we need to do is we need to double click on the user account that's currently not an admin. In this case, the user 34. We go into the group membership
Yeah.
tab and we click on administrator and we hit apply.
Okay.
By doing this, we have added this particular user to the local administrators group, giving it the necessary permissions and privileges to perform the necessary actions on the QuickBooks application. Once we do that,
Okay.
it depends. Sometimes, it immediately takes effect. And sometimes, while if, there could be a service that might be running in the background. So it's always better to reboot the
Okay.
server after this action and try accessing those files again, and you will not get this error message again.
Is it safe to assume that once you change that person from a user to administrator, will there be other QB users that pop up over time for whatever reason?
Only if there is a newer or a different instance or a version of QuickBooks that gets installed. So as we discussed, for example, it's
Excellent.
23 and 24 currently on the system, you'll see two users. And by
Yeah.
any chance, if we install QuickBooks 22, then in that case, there's going to be
Okay.
another QB user that will communicate with that version of QuickBooks.
So each username for the QuickBooks is actually associated to the QuickBooks version or install.
Correct.
Okay. That makes total sense. Wow, what a life changing event here, because this is the most annoying pop up known to man. And great find on fixing this one. So this is going to help a lot of CPAs. Thank you very much, Ryan.
I'm
And
happy to help, man.
all right,
Thank you.
who who do who do people call if they have an IT issue? Right? They call InterPC, and Ryan will be on the phone.
I would love to assist.
So all right. Well, thank you very much for everything you do, Ryan, and I will talk to you later. Bye bye.
Thank you, Dan. Take care.